All right, we are here and we're doing a live broadcast. Interesting.
Are we starting?
Is this Nadia? No?
Are we starting?
Sorry.
We're not starting. We're waiting for the girl to come. So
but
anybody
this is
who's
for your thing.
anybody who's watching right now, we're going to be starting very shortly. Just the people at Zeus are a little bit slow, so they don't know what 2 p.m. start time
They're so busy
means.
making matches.
Exactly. They're making people fall in love. So that's what they're primarily focused on. But just letting you know that we're live at the Zeus headquarters. They flew Kristen and I up here just to learn more about like dating and stuff from the experts. So we are doing a Facebook Live with them. We're doing something live on their YouTube channel. We're doing something live on our YouTube channel. And we're about to start a live version of the Ask Women podcast. We're just waiting on our, so you're not Nadia. You are not, okay. So you are a spectator.
No, this is non.
Nadia was our makeup.
Oh, right. I'm so
So you're
sorry.
not, you're going to do the show.
Yeah.
Yay.
Oh, perfect. Okay, so come sit down. Let's get started. Okay. I am going to. See, this is
I like how you like to Nadia.
We're going to.
Yeah.
It's a long version of your name.
Yeah. Thank you so much for doing this. So I am going to press record on this so that we can start recording. Kristen will tell me if this is working. Is this working for me?
Talk a little bit closer.
Talk.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
I will
Marni,
try.
the way these mics work is you want to speak into right here,
Okay.
not the top, and you want to keep it about there, but you have to speak like straight toward it.
Okay. I will
Yeah.
speak straight toward
And
it.
don't move your hand too much because it does pick up on, so
Okay. So I'm not going to look at you at all.
you move with the
No,
mic.
I can't because it's so
You can
right
do it,
there.
you're
It's, the
coordinated.
cord's too short. Okay,
Oh,
so
yeah,
anyway, this
it's
is what you get to see. This is exactly what happens every single day at our podcast. Kristen yells at me in some way.
And we have
then,
a poor unassuming girl
Yes.
that we just freak out.
welcome. Yes, welcome to our show. Thank you for coming on. So we're gonna get started
Yeah.
in what, 30
She
seconds?
talked me into it.
So are they
We
paying you
twisted
extra?
your arm.
Oh.
They deducted from her pay, actually.
Okay, so this, I'm gonna have to have you test from there because I don't know if it's gonna pick you up good enough at this
Okay.
distance. So you might, because we're recording a podcast as well.
Okay.
So,
Ooh, oh, somebody just dropped up. Are we boring you, 113 viewer? So rude.
okay.
We'll be on
so-
shortly.
Test.
Hello.
Hi.
Okay, talk
Maybe
a little, talk a little bit louder. I know.
Okay. Hello.
Okay, let's see.
Let's see.
Okay, talk a little bit louder.
Okay. Hello.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to have you hold it.
Okay.
So, just try not to move your hand too much. Just up and down the thing because it will pick up.
Yeah.
It'll pick up
okay.
If you guys want to
But
start,
you're
if you
more than
have any
welcome to just,
questions,
like,
you can start adding
Yeah.
questions.
Yes,
I
that's
think in the
perfect.
comment box.
Maybe,
I don't really know how this
like,
works, to be
there.
honest. But
Okay.
I'm
if
gonna
you want
do
to
a
start
test.
writing in questions that I can go back to and like first come, first serve,
Okay, talk
we're going to
again.
do
Hello?
a podcast about a topic we've discussed
Let's
before. And then we'll get to overanalyze
Hello?
this
Yeah,
and
that's perfect.
watch
Okay.
some of your questions. Or not watch. We'll read
A lot
some of your
cameras in
questions.
here.
That's
ridiculous.
I guess we don't need to be recording.
Test.
Okay. Tell me when you're going to get started so that I can.
Test. Okay.
Next time we do this, we'll be a little bit more on point.
No, we won't.
Probably not. Okay, so
Yeah,
we ready?
this
Should
is
I
not
press
very
record on my
stable.
end?
I know. Oh, yeah. So this, it doesn't have to stay up high. So if it
Okay.
falls,
So
there
let's
you
just
go.
do this.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
This is not bad.
Yeah.
Tell me when I press record. On my end.
Okay. All right. We'll try to time it the same. Ready? And
I need one.
What?
you're fine. We can just keep it recording. Just
okay.
Oh, wait. All right. 1, 2, 3. Click. Okay.
Very close.
So
Looks
clap
like-
your hands so we have like a marking point for him to like.
Okay, 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
That was good.
Yeah.
Okay. Start. I could lean forward because my cord is too short, but I'm still paying attention to you.
So just let me know when I should start. And if I'm sitting like a man. Oh, I might take it. My book pocket. Hey guys, welcome to the Ask Women podcast here at Zeus, one of the lead online dating sites
In the world.
in the entire world, which is cray cray. And so we're doing a live video for you guys while we record one of our podcasts. So if you don't know anything about us, which you should, we
If
host.
you don't know anything about us,
Yes,
but these
that's-
people
no, I was looking there.
do. Okay.
I don't care about your people.
Oh, that's true.
Just kidding. So if you guys don't know anything about us, we host a podcast called Ask Women, where we give advice to dudes who are kind of like dating slow, or not dating slow as in speed, but they're slow at dating. They're not good at it.
You told me not to interrupt your intro, so I won't add it.
Mhm.
But that is not correct.
Okay, everyone's great at dating, including our listeners. They're great at it. So we give advice to people who either have questions about just your everyday dating or getting a hard time or having
Just
a
really
hard time
understanding
hard.
women. Yeah, having a hard time getting hard. But we teach men how to understand women. We give men an honest female perspective, straight from the source. Females, typically we have a man here as well to keep us all in check. We've got one behind the camera, so if we are getting out of line,
He's gonna
and
squirt us with
yeah,
water.
exactly,
Yeah.
and being like too estrogeny, he's gonna be like, no, that's not true. But we are a no nonsense group. And we like to be completely honest about stuff and don't give typical female advice like buy her gifts and give her compliments. We give real actionable advice.
Yeah.
And we are going to push you to also give real
Sure.
actionable female information.
And so our guest today is Nan. Thank you for coming.
Yeah.
I'm almost like, I feel like my soul is Nan. Like non anything. Like I'm Nan. I'm just
I was
Nan. I
thinking
feel like it'd be a
food.
good name for me. I love Nan bread.
Yes, me too. I love
Yeah.
naan bread.
But for you
Every
guys,
thought about you is wonderful from
But for you guys who
Sure.
don't know us, I'm Kristen Carney. I'm a comedian and a podcaster, and Marni is a dating coach and relationship
For men.
expert for men
Mhm.
and some women,
and some women, but mainly for men.
but only when the men are acting
Yes,
women.
and my website is winggirlmethod.com.
Yeah.
So we can get started on our
let's do
show.
this. Let's do this.
So the topic that I wanted to discuss today, obviously we want to work in some stats on online dating because that's your
Sure.
expertise.
Yeah.
But we want to tap into you as a woman more importantly.
Okay.
Are you single?
Yes, I am.
You are single.
And I
so
am
even
online
better.
dating.
And you're online dating. Okay,
Yeah.
even better. So the topic that we wanted to talk about today, Kristen actually phrased it much better. So I got a couple of emails.
Surprisingly.
But yeah. So I got a couple of emails from my clients, and they had this consistent problem with women. I'm going to explain it much more long-winded. She's going to tie it up in a bow.
Mhm.
And so basically, they were saying that they were flirting with girls that they had a crush on, that they may be in the friend zone with right now. And they would try and escalate the conversation by putting something possibly a little bit more flirty out there, maybe a little bit more sexual out there. And as soon as the woman responded, not negatively, but just sort of perked her ears up for a second because he was acting differently and didn't really give an overwhelming like, oh, I've been waiting for you to flirt with me response, they immediately backed down. So actually, do you want to tie that up in a bow, or do you want me to read the example?
Well, I think the example ties
Okay.
it up in a bow.
So here is the example. I wish that I could show this to you, but okay. So the example is this one client of mine who wrote in to me, and he sent me a copy of text messages that he was writing to a girl. And so this girl had said, I think I'm just going to be a lion for Halloween. And he wrote like, lion, and she said, LOL, I guess I was just thinking like a lion from a zoo. Not a very imaginative female. And he goes, LOL, well, then if I dress up as a zookeeper, do I get to take you back home? Which is a pretty flirty.
Well, if I was a zookeeper, I would say like, if I was a zookeeper, does that mean I get to like
Wrangle you up or
you,
something?
like something
Yeah.
a little? I mean,
I know where he's going with
Yeah.
it. So we're not talking about the execution of the
because
lion.
zookeepers don't take them home. Not
Right.
that this matters. Not that
Yeah.
that.
No,
that's the
we all
trivial
know
part.
where he was going.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay,
for
but yes,
sure.
that's true. Like,
Right,
let's
it's
get
like
a
you're a
little bit technical.
zookeeper and you steal the animals.
Yeah, but no,
Yeah, or
Exactly.
like you feed them, or you know,
Yeah, do I
like
get to feed
it's
you?
like weird kind of relationship.
yeah, that is kind of true.
Yeah.
That's kind of what a zookeeper does. So should we just like scratch this whole
No,
thing?
no, no. It makes sense.
Uh,
No, you know where
anyway.
he was going.
So you see where he's going. And she wrote back, LOL, really, with like a weird emoji. And he said, haha, that was bad, I know. And then she sent back emojis of the emoji
Phew.
like sweating like a few, like whoo. And then he just went, anything new with work? So totally skipping off of that topic. So we're going to talk about, what was the way that you tied it up in a really much a better way than I am describing it?
Being convicted to decisions that you make with a woman, or not being
Yeah.
passive.
Yeah,
The
not being
woman-
passive, but more so like I see this as a nice guy.
You're committing to.
Yeah.
You're committing to it. You don't back down. You're like, I'm gonna flirt with this girl. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter what happens. I'm gonna continue flirting.
Yeah.
Which is
And
like
being clear with your intentions
Yeah.
and putting it out there.
which is kind of saying, I'm not going to read social cues, I'm going to keep flirting, but at the same time, there can be something attractive about that.
Yeah. Well, so I want to hear your thoughts on this.
I think like the first line, okay, like sure the execution could be better, but he just kind of back off, and you know, like women want someone who is more assertive, and she probably wanted him to just be more clear about it. So yeah, that's
So do
when-
you think it's like, you better stop saying these things to me, or was it like, wait, what? Like for me, all I saw when she wrote that was like a transition her to somewhere else if it was ever gonna
I think
happen.
it could go both way, but like he wouldn't know until he did it. You know, like
Right.
it could be interpreted as like she's not really interested, or it could be like, okay, she's not sure if he's 100% flirting with
Yeah.
her. So yeah, I think he should have kept going.
So how
Well, I think the problem is that he might be flirting before she's really
ready for
aware if
Yeah.
she's into him or not. Because I've had guys do that to me where they are basically like throwing in this really big line and we just started chatting and I'm not on their side yet.
Mhm.
We don't know how long they've known each other.
They have known each other for some time, so they're in the friend zone with each other.
Okay, well, if they're in the friend zone, that is coming way out of left field. So I feel like there is a
true.
smoother way to transition into it
Yeah.
without being passive.
Okay.
Like without-
and what would that be?
It would be a smaller flirt, like afterward, can I take you out for a drink?
Yeah.
Or something that's like more first level.
See,
like
I think
you.
that's a higher level.
No, take you out for a drink versus take you home
Or
from the
like
zoo.
just hang out. the
Wait,
two
wait,
of
you're
you.
talking about the lion that you're gonna take home and for a drink?
Yeah, you're just saying, you're putting out there that when you ask someone to have a drink, what you're basically saying is, I want to go out with you. When
I
you-
think that's a big jump.
Yeah, but that's not that. But that's
Yeah.
not. No. It's a jump to showing that you have intention, but without making it gross for her. Because if
I
he
understand
says, "I want to take you out for a drink," she doesn't have to go like, "Oh my God, really?" She can be like, "Oh, yes or no," and then if she says yes to the drink, then you can start throwing in lines more like that because it's almost like you have her permission to be more aggressive. That's physically like aggressive. Not that
Okay.
I'm
That's
sensitive
physically
to it.
aggressive.
Well, it's physical. Yeah, it's like I'm a zookeeper. You're a
What do you
lion,
think?
and I'm gonna take
No.
you home.
I actually agree with you. Like it's
'Cause
probably
I'm smart
better for
and
him
amazing.
to just say like, "Hey, do you want to go out for a drink or you want to hang out sometimes?" Than just to like come on the left field and say like, "I'm gonna like take you home," because that's as women too. Like we get really sensitive when someone is flirting.
Yeah, you kind of put your
that
guard up.
aggressively
Yeah.
with us. And
But let's say, for example, let's
Mhm.
say this guy, you guys have been friends with each other, you joke around with each other, and you haven't really felt those feelings for him because he's not putting anything sexual up. But you're enjoying his presence. You're not really thinking about him when he leaves, or you're not thinking, oh, I'd like to date him. But you're just enjoying him. And suddenly you start to notice behavior shifts. Either he's not as available to you, you're not hanging out as often, it's a little bit harder to get him to do things. And coupled with that, he starts to change the language that he uses around you. And he does start flirtatious lines like this. So for example, if he were to say this and then not back down. So if you were to say, oh, wait, really? And he said, yeah. Like, what if I wrangled you up with a smirk on his face, your friend?
But
yeah, I
if
feel
your
like that's
friends
too
know-
aggressive.
Yeah, I do
Too
too.
Yeah.
aggressive.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you think instead
Marni, I
him
think because
saying,
you're married, your like equilibrium is off or something. Like you want it hard. Like you're like, someone just come for me.
see, I don't find this so hard. I
I
find that
do.
he's just switching it up the language instead of, so here, let me
No,
read you
if
this one
I'm
portion.
trying to put in, I'm gonna put in the conversation a guy friend that I can picture right now in my head, and us having this conversation. I have no sexual intention with him at all or dating intention, and he comes out and says that. I'm like, whoa, dude, no.
So then how does he continue going
Say-
without backing up?
Well, after you go out for lunch, we should grab a drink together
Yeah.
sometime.
So that's his follow-up to the, I'm gonna,
No, he
Take
doesn't
me
say
to
the
my
line.
home.
Or
No, he
yeah,
doesn't
or
say saying
not
that.
say.
no, I don't
zookeeper
think
line.
there's anything wrong with saying a flirtatious
If you had a
line.
guy
I
friend,
think it's also because you don't online date. Because when you do online date, you get a
Yeah.
lot of messages from guys that are like this.
Yeah.
That are like, "Hey, I'm in bed thinking of you," and you're like,
yeah,
so-
I don't care, get a book.
Yeah, you get really.
No, that's very sexual.
I'm telling you, 99% of women would say that's too much too fast. But
Yeah.
I'll tell you with these.
I'm telling you that they may say that's too fast, but I'm telling you that they wouldn't react the way that you're saying that they would react.
They react.
Because
They would
you're
react just like
picturing
she
different
did.
people.
No,
Yeah,
but she
no.
reacted just
Like
like
she
we were
did.
saying.
Right.
Yeah.
She said, LOL, really?
Yeah,
Which
really,
still
like,
may
no.
mean like don't. But if he would have, I'm not saying for him to continue and say like, spread your legs so I can put myself inside you afterwards.
But I think that if
But-
he would have asked her out at the very beginning, he might have had a better response than that.
Well, okay,
that I don't know.
listen, These
I don't
Zeus,
agree with that.
These Zeus.
What do your stats say?
Well, no, they say that men who are nice guys get or have better manners get more messages. So men with the phrase "give back" in their profile get 60% more messages. I'm not good with numbers, but that's pretty high.
Right.
My mathematician mind would say. Men with the word community in their profile gets 33% more messages, and men with the word giving in their profile get 33% more messages. Then also the words friendly, polite, listener, thoughtful, and knight in shining armor all get a decent amount percentages more. Like
that I understand.
With the word thoughtful in their profile, they get 66% more. Listener, they get 43% more.
Yes. So somebody's profiles just be all of those words put together.
Yeah.
See what kind of response you get.
The world's nerdiest.
I really like people who.
Yeah.
Wait, I'm trying to find you this one example. We'll keep talking about this topic because I want to hear more about what you think. Like, then what would be a way for a guy not to okay, aside from asking out, because she's not feeling attraction yet for it. No matter what, they are in the friend zone, and there's nothing that says.
He could say something like a lion costume would look really cute on you. Yeah. I could see that. Yeah. Why is
okay?
that's
Yes.
perfect.
Okay, but then picture it from somebody that you have no sexual desire.
I was
for.
just picturing it from someone I have no sexual desire for, saying they want to take me home from the zoo.
Yeah,
That's like
odd. Picture it. Okay, picture somebody that maybe you don't have any sexual desire for, as opposed to somebody that you're
basically
neutral,
everyone in the world.
that you're neutral towards. So not somebody that you've already written off as an option. Somebody that you're neutral towards.
Yeah, like
I'd
if
go-
he just compliments you, like I think that's what's better than like. I'm gonna
So
wrangle you
wait,
home.
so you think that if somebody that
If
you
we
have
had
no
gone out a
sexual
couple
attraction
times,
to,
if we had gone out a couple times.
I'm not talking about going out a couple of times.
I'm saying that would only work if we went out a couple times.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. Where is this damn line? This other website
And I'm
will
the final
not pull
voice on
up on
everything.
here
So
because it's saying it's blocked for some reason.
we turn the volume off on the
But-
computer. Just because the emails keep coming through.
Yeah. Hold on one second. I don't know why it's saying it's blocked. Okay. Anyway, there's this one line. Oh my God.
Just never gonna
I'm
find
trying
it.
to find it.
Never ever gonna find it.
Okay. No, because it's okay. So here's something that I wrote in an article recently. Nice guys shower women with nonstop compliments because they think it will win her over. I actually had one guy say to me, I can't believe, when I asked him why, he said, because you're ridiculously hot. Even though I appreciated the compliment, he made me feel like I was doing him a favor by going out with him. That's not sexy. We want to feel like you are the prize. A bad boy would have teased me and said, you're lucky I fit you into my schedule, with a big smirk on his face.
Yeah.
And
Well, I
I
think
don't think that will work on me either. That's like negging.
yeah.
Really? With
Will
a
you
big
read that?
smile on
What
your
was
face
that line
afterwards?
again?
being more playful, I said,
If you said I didn't have time for you, what was it?
So a nice guy, so you would have liked it if you were on a date and a nice guy said to you, I can't believe you're not attracted to him yet. Okay? This isn't something that you're into. If he's into you, you're happy that he says this to you. Well, I'm not gonna tell you what you feel. Yes, I am. And he says, I can't believe you went out with me. Somebody who you feel no sexual attraction towards, who has been complimenting you throughout your date, and who you're having a nice time with, but there's no spark.
I can see the point when you're just like, he's complimenting you too much, and you just kind of like, you don't really want to hang out with him.
Right.
Yeah, he's not very straight.
Yeah, you're like,
or,
okay, dude, my
confident.
shit does stink.
Yeah.
You know, like you wanna like get him on a level where you know you're human.
Yeah.
And it's not attractive when someone, it's almost like you're the queen and you have everyone worshiping you.
Yeah.
All those people are people you want to step over as the queen. They're not the
Right.
the prince that you want
Right.
to walk down the aisle with.
So what would have been a better way to say it to you then? If
Like why he went out with me, or
no, if some guy was on a date, so
Well,
if you were on a date with him, so some other way
Like
he would
limit
say.
the amount of compliments. Just like, oh, you look really nice today, and like leave it there. Just not shower someone with compliments.
Well, so
Well,
then
the other night I went out on a date. I don't know if he's watching this because I Instagrammed it. But he said we've known each other like through online for about a year, and we didn't go out for the first time until this weekend. And he kind of said, you know, it sucks that we waited this long to get together to like meet. And I think that's a good way to say like I'm liking you.
yes, for somebody you're already attracted to.
I don't know if, you know, it wasn't like I was like, I need to have his babies right now, but he said that. And I thought that was a plus, like it pushed me more toward the good side.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But like, okay, so tell me then for you, what does flirting look like? Like how do you become attracted to somebody? Like what does it take?
That's
Money.
hard to say. Alcohol.
Cars. Yeah.
I don't know. That's hard to say, but I think.
Well, the last guy that you've been into, that you've been
Yeah, we
dating.
met online, so it wasn't like a situation. Like I think we met and we just kind of became instantly attracted to each other. So
What were you attracted to?
So I really liked, like, he's tall. I like, he's the type of guy that I could see myself dating.
Being tall, by the way, is the dude version of boobs for
for
girls.
sure.
Yeah.
Is it a must for you or is it a plus?
It's a plus. I mean, if he's like 5'5", no, that's not gonna work. But if he's tall, then that's a plus.
Okay.
And just we click on conversation and stuff like that, and we have we both travel a lot. And
So before, like let's say before you found out that you connected, what did you see on his profile that you liked? Did he have all those words listed?
So he has pictures of him traveling and been around, but yeah, other than that, it's just the way
It's an energy, right?
Yeah, it's like energy. It's hard to say. So, for example, he would like respond to me instantly. That's actually in the stat here too.
Yeah.
Like men who message women back in the same day have 62% response rate. And yeah, he just seems like a nice, normal guy.
Yeah.
And so I agreed to go on a date with him. Like I go on when I meet someone online, I normally agree to go on a date pretty early on because I don't want to waste my time messaging people. Back
Yeah,
and
you don't
forth.
need a pen pal. You
No,
want
not
to
really.
see this person in real
Yeah,
life to see
and-
if they're real.
And most of the time, you don't know if you're attracted to that person.
Oh my God, you're doing that in light writing.
I got it, don't worry.
Okay.
Yeah. What was it?
Basically, if you're attracted to real
Yeah.
life, you want to get to know
Yeah,
as
you
soon
don't
as
know
possible.
if you until you meet them in real life.
Well, how do you know when the right moment is for somebody to ask you out online? Like, how do you know you've connected enough to?
Honestly, even if they ask me on the second message, I would be fine with it.
If you were into them.
Yeah.
That's a little too
Yeah.
soon for me. That's like getting married after going on one date to me. That's a big commitment to go out with someone because there's so many people now
Yeah, that's
online
true.
and it's like I'm trying to be more picky. But I think a good sign to ask a woman out is if she's just engaging and you guys are if you're on a roll,
Yeah.
she's
Yeah.
engaging, go with it, go with the flow. That's a really good
Yeah.
time. It's like riding a wave.
For
It's like just ride it, ask her.
Yeah.
Don't wait because I've had this happen with so many guys where we're having good banter. I'm not asking the dude out first. I learned my lesson with that a long time ago. So I'm waiting for them to ask and then they don't ask and then 2 days goes by of not bantering anymore and then I've lost interest.
Right.
And so if all of a
somebody
sudden,
new.
so if all of a sudden I get a message from him, it's like, well, the other guy asked me out first, so I'm gonna go with him. And I can only go on 8 dates this week.
Right.
yeah.
That's light for
That's
me.
right, exactly. I have a girlfriend. I remember when I first heard about online dating, she was on J-Date. And she's like, I don't even buy food anymore at my house. I go out every night for dinner. I was like, that is crazy.
It's a lot of
Yeah.
work.
It is a lot
I'd
of
rather
work.
actually work for food than have to date for food
Right.
because dating is so much work.
It's a lot of work. And plus, you don't want to go out for dinner on the first date anyway.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
The
yes,
worst.
yes.
The
So
worst.
continue. I want to hear about so the last guy that you liked. So you went out, he chose a location, you chose a location.
He chose the location.
Okay.
Like for the first date, I would like the guy to take the initiative first to ask me out and choose the location beforehand. Because I have had people who, wait until the last minute and was like, "Hey, where do you want to go?" And I'm
I
like,
hate that.
I hate that. No, like
It's high
you should
school.
set up a time and set up a location, preferably about a week before, and yeah.
And tell you where to go.
And tell you where to go.
Okay.
And, yeah, set up. So,
On my date on Saturday, we were going to go to one specific spot, but it was super packed. And he was like, it's way too packed there. I wasn't there yet. He goes, I'm going to come by and pick you up because I was kind of close. And even though I'm really awkward in cars when I don't know somebody and I'm like, where do I put my arms? I've never been in a car before. That's how it feels.
Yeah.
He picked me up. I went with it. And he didn't really know at first instead where he was going. And then he picked it on the fly. And I thought that was really cool because it was a great spot. And like, he didn't have to Google for it. He just knew of a cool spot kind of, to go,
Right.
which said a lot about someone too.
Yeah, whereas
And it felt like I was being taken care of already.
Yeah.
It's like he picked me up in the car. We don't know where we're going, but he's figuring it out on the fly
Yeah.
and going somewhere good.
Which is still sexy even for somebody who's married.
Right.
That's extremely sexy
Right.
at
Yeah.
any point in a relationship.
Right.
What about for people like that you've gone on dates with online where you connected with them online
Mhm.
and then in person you were like, oh, this is who it is.
yeah, that's why you don't go out for dinners.
Right, exactly, because
Yeah.
I got a jet. So have you ever been in a situation where you have had that situation
Mhm.
where you're a little deflated and somebody has turned things around or surprised you or it's changed, your attraction for them has changed? Forget about online,
Mhm.
maybe just in real life, somebody that you've gone out with where you're like, at first, because they're a flat person when you first walk in, into changing.
I think once I made up my mind, there's no going back. from
Really?
that. Yeah. Maybe into a yes, but once it becomes a no, it's not going to come back to a
Okay,
yes.
so that's
yeah,
interesting.
yeah.
Okay. So no for you is typically just because they're not attracted or because they
Most of the time, it's just because they're not attractive, or we have nothing in common, or like we really can't keep the conversation going. Even though that's hard when you first meet someone,
Right.
but yeah, but still.
So what about a maybe? So describe to me what a maybe looks like.
A maybe is someone dating like so long.
No, but that means you have a lot
all
of
my
people to
examples
go
come
through.
from that. It's like when you see online, you're like, maybe, and then you meet them in real life, and like either your conversation with them went really well, or you actually feel that you are attracted to them in real life.
What's the difference between connecting with somebody versus being attracted to them when you meet them? Because there's lots of people where you're like, yeah, I could totally introduce you to my friends, like you'd be great, versus I want you. What's needed for that? Because you would have similar things. You both
Yeah.
have things in common. You can have good conversation.
And-
What's the difference?
A lot, and it's true. A lot of the time, you can just have conversation with people. It doesn't necessarily mean that you want to date them. I think it's about whether or not you can see yourself with this person and dating this person. Like a lot of the time, even though you have good conversation, you still just can't imagine yourself with this person.
And what do you need to imagine yourself with that person? I know they're hard questions.
Yeah,
I'm not saying that you
I'm
have
not
an
entirely
easy
sure.
answer.
Actually.
I know it's a feeling.
Yeah, it's like a feeling, and just
So the last time that you both had that feeling, what
Ended
was
terribly.
it? Yeah, well, yes, but what was it what
still
was it
barely
about
got
that
that.
person that gave you that feeling? Was it that you had things in common?
It's like you asking that question is like me asking some dude on the street, hey, how did the world get created? Can you explain it to me like perfectly right now? You know,
Yes,
it's
absolutely.
just
This is exactly it.
right.
I know
But it's
I'm
this
asking hard
big
questions.
question that there's no real solid answer. Quite, you don't have a
I know,
real
and
solid
that's why
answer to.
230 episodes in, we're still
I
going.
still can't figure it out. It's a feeling, it's a vibe, it's an energy for me. I'm very attracted to charisma. And so I always thought I was a better judge of character, but I think it turns out that charisma for me can basically take
Don't worry, con
precedence.
artists still exist, so you are
they take
not alone.
precedence to me over something,
Yeah.
because I'll think, oh my God, look at all this person is like shining, but then they might be a bad person and I still will be attracted to them.
Yeah.
But it's because with the charisma comes chemistry. It's the CH words. And I don't know how that person can create charisma for themselves, but when there's something special or extra about a dude, that's when I'm like, oh, I like this guy. And it doesn't happen often, that's the problem.
Right, and so what about you?
yeah, I think it's the same. Like chemistry, that's very important. Just
But you said before that you could have chemistry with
Imagine a
somebody.
chemist who can't have chemistry with a woman, the irony.
He's like just in his basement trying to create chemistry for the rest of his
But I
life.
have all this
Good
chemistry.
conversation.
Why can't I do it?
Yeah,
What?
you can have good conversation with most. Like, or for me, I can have good conversation with like a lot of people. Like,
Yeah, I could see that.
I can just like talk to people, but that doesn't mean that we have chemistry.
But so the last time you had chemistry,
Yeah,
can you think of what it was about that person that gave you that feeling of, I want to see him again, we have chemistry? It's
such hard
hard.
questions. We had a very interesting first date. To be fair, like we went to a rave.
Really?
I know, like with all my talk about like not going to dinner.
Yeah.
I
You're
accumulated
like a 12-hour rave.
Oh my
So you
God.
could, like X with somebody.
Yeah.
We
So
went to get
this is for your job.
drinks, and, like we went to like a 3-hour rave. So yeah, I don't know. I think it's just someone that you could have fun with, and like someone you could and before the rave there was a drink, so someone you could have a conversation with, and someone you're attracted to.
So you had the drinks first, and then he's like, now I like you. Do you want to come to
Yeah.
a rave with me?
I was like,
Rave
next
with me?
door.
People
I was
do
like-
really annoying music with me.
And like I'm
Nobody
like,
would ever
tolerate
ask me
each
to go
other.
to a rave.
Me neither.
I was like, I don't do this often.
You're like, do you want to go to
I'm gonna
Starbucks
pretend
and
to
like
be
sit and
cool
talk for another 4 hours?
and like go to this rave.
But I love that you did it.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
So,
you were fun, and you had a really interesting experience.
yeah,
with
and like
somebody.
he was saying like he had friend that was DJing there. I was like, oh wow.
See, like what you were talking
But that
about.
looks
people who
cool
know
also.
people.
When
Yeah,
he
that
knows
looks
people,
cool.
it's a scene.
So that's why I'm like, I'm gonna pretend to be cool and like go
Yeah.
to this thing.
yeah.
You obviously are cool. You must have given off some vibe that says I can hang at a rave. Or were you like by
guess
10
so.
o'clock, you're like, oh, that's a home.
I know, like that's me most of the time.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
Well, so let's go back to the beginning topic, because I want to connect this to the beginning topic. So for guys who are not putting their intention out, that you meet on your dates.
I need to fix this.
What? Oh, I was trying to turn it on.
My
It's not
call.
working. Who are not, right? So they're not being sexual. They're not flirting. They're not bantering with you. How do they do? Like, how do guys do that on dates with you? How do they make it clear without being super aggressive or a sexual assault? Or like, how do they still put that intention out there without creeping you out?
I think if I already agree to go on a date with someone, there's at least an initial level of attraction there.
So that's like a green light for flirting.
Yeah,
Okay, that you can have a basic level of flirting. You
yeah.
can flirt with me.
but
Does that mean that they can touch you? Not touch you
No.
like, bleh, but like that if you're on a date and they go like that to you, that you're
I would be kind of weirded out because
Right.
I don't really like to be touched. First
Okay.
of all, just
Really?
in general.
I'm not gonna creep you out.
You're having sex, you're like, don't touch.
no touching. But I think you just first date are hard. So I would say like you just gotta how the conversation goes. Like it doesn't mean that he should be overly flirty. Like I don't really like
What
that
about
either.
touching at the end, like on your way out the door or something? He's like, but you first or something like
On
that.
like the small of your
yeah.
back.
I normally give them a hug when I see them.
Buddy, you first. Like that was. I'm so not a
She's like
flirter.
this.
Can you tell?
No.
She's like,
I
don't
give
like
them a
being
hug
touched.
at the end and
All I want to do is touch her now.
at the end and the beginning of the date.
She's like,
Right.
It's like, no.
Yeah.
But yeah, like
But even if
sometimes-
you like a guy, you would be like, no, don't touch me.
no, I would still.
Listen,
give
I
them
still
a hug.
tense up when somebody goes to initially touch, but I'm still
Yeah, if
Be
he
like,
just like
please.
randomly touch you like this, I don't know if I like that. But at the end of the night, he's like, it was really nice meeting you, and like
and smacked your ass and walked away.
Yeah.
That'd be amazing.
Well,
That's
who knows? And then give you a hug and like, would like some guys would like try to kiss you at the end of the first date, and I think that's a really good indication.
If you're into it as well.
Yeah,
So you would kiss at the end of the day, like after the rape, you were
Yeah.
making out with this guy. Like kissing.
not making out, but like
Yeah.
just kiss.
You would.
I do think though touching in spurts is good if the girl doesn't. If you don't know how the guy's feeling about you and the guy doesn't know how the girl's feeling about him, if someone puts out like a little bit of a touch,
Yeah.
I think that's a really good indicator. So like, for example, the date that I was at on the other night, there's a good examples on this date. He kind of touched my lower back when we were leaving. And so I instantly was like, oh, okay, he's kind of into me. And then it made me more comfortable with
Yeah.
myself.
That's a good
You know?
gesture.
Yeah.
For sure. Like when you just like, hey,
Yeah.
And would you
And I was like, my
tense up?
back's hairy, don't touch it.
No, but that's interesting that you were like immediately you went to there because you're self-conscious,
Yeah,
right?
I
So
am.
that's a good thing.
Yeah.
So tensing up isn't necessarily a bad thing.
I tensed up for a second, but also at the same time, I eased up because over
And
the
then you
long
continued
haul, because I
touching
knew
after.
that
Well,
meant he was kind of into me.
Also, and that was at the end of the date, right?
It was in
But
the
if
middle.
you
'cause
weren't
it was
into
the
it,
second
oh,
location.
if you weren't
okay.
into him that way, do you think that your mood
I
would
would
have
have,
shifted?
yeah, I would have been like, okay, I'm
Yeah,
gonna
now
get an Uber home.
Well,
I'm
if
not
you
gonna-
weren't into it, you would not go to the second location.
No, I wouldn't have.
So
And I've had that on
I mean,
dates.
she likes free food and free drinks.
who doesn't?
I'm kind of pathetic, but I've been on a couple dates where I've had to go to a second location and I didn't want to and I didn't know how to say no. And the whole rest of the time I just looked like I had to like poop or something. You know, it was just like a look of like,
Like, just get the
Yeah.
message that I don't want to be
Yeah,
here right now and
yeah.
say that we called it. a
now
night.
I've learned I can say no. But yeah, I wouldn't have gone for the second.
Interesting. Yeah,
Okay,
so those are huge indicators.
Yeah.
Okay, the next thing that I do want to ask before, I actually turned my comments off. So are there questions that are coming in by any chance from people?
We have to do our second guest.
Oh, we
You're
will in a
gone.
second, but no, I want to finish up
You're
one
kicked out.
thing first. So in terms of like what we started talking about at the beginning of the show, of guys not backing down from their intention.
Right.
So how does he continue putting, I mean, you gave some suggestions out what he, like to continue flirting and being
To
okay
not
with it.
change his
To not,
direction.
to not like veer off right away because she sort of got like a little weird for a second without being labeled as a sexual assault. Example, like how does a guy flirting things, because once if he's there and
And
he's
she
like,
went, really? Because she said, really, question mark? He might have said, really, I like you. Something like that.
really, I like
Or
you.
just
Like, really, or really, yes.
Okay, fine. So but overall, you're
'Cause, I
saying
mean, if
don't
he's
back down
committing,
from what you're
If
trying
he's
to
gonna
do.
commit to
And
it.
don't veer off. Like right away, he jumped ship. Like there was this one
Yeah.
guy who I was talking
Because
to.
he's not giving her room to say no. That's
see,
like
that's better.
he needs to either ask her out or like go out and straight say I like you, and she
See,
can
I
either
like
say
that.
I don't really see you that way. I don't want to hang out with you. Then he knows for sure whether or not she likes him.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So right now he's still in purgatory with her
Yeah.
because he's just like, okay, I'm going to play it safe. Wait, well, what was the show on the other day where somebody was talking about if I put it out there, then it never becomes a possibility. But if I don't say anything, it's always a possibility. Because in their mind, it always
You
was on
didn't
Ally.
close. I know. That's how I think actually, because
Yeah.
I'm very pessimistic.
Maybe
And I'm
you were
like,
talking about it
because
yesterday.
there's a song. It's a Coldplay song or something. When you try your best and you don't succeed or whatever, I always think about that, and I'm like, sometimes I wish because if you try your best and you don't succeed, that means like you kind of stink. You tried your best and you still didn't succeed. So sometimes I wish when I hear that lyric, I think I shouldn't try because I don't want to know that I can't succeed. I'd rather have that dream always in my head sometimes saying, you are good enough. But if I actually tried and found out I wasn't, then I'm not good enough.
But
and
that's
the
why
book is
most
closed.
people are super successful because the majority of people don't try because they're too afraid to possibly fail. So I love, what did you say again? Sorry, I'm like touching
he didn't give her room to say
She
no.
hates
You
being
didn't,
touched.
you didn't give her room to say no. And that's what was happening there. You're not allowing her to reject you, you're rejecting yourself.
But the other thing with not committing is like if you take an acting class and someone to the scene and it's a ridiculous scene, maybe they have to make a fool out of themselves, but they look so much better than the person who's afraid to commit.
Yeah,
and
the
you
person
can
who's
tell
like,
it's
this is
embarrassed.
weird.
Yeah.
So you might as well commit because you're gonna look less stupid committing, even if you get rejected, than you are
Yeah.
tippy-toeing like that dude, like changing your mind.
Like
Going,
right away, he's like,
"Oh,
sorry,
between the legs."
LOL, how's work?
Yeah.
And he just veered off it right away. Like if he wants to go to that direction, you have to go to that direction. And then eventually it would come out, yeah, of course I'm interested in you. I've been trying to flirt my ass off with you and you're not noticing. Now, lion, get on your hands and knees. And I don't know, whatever. You can go in whatever direction you want to. But I love what you said. Nan, thank you. You are not only good to eat, you are also an excellent conversationalist.
You're good to
So
touch.
thank
Thank
you
you.
very much. And you are an analyst here at
Yeah, product analyst. Zeus.
Very cool. At Zeus, the leading online dating site. Thank you so much for talking with us. All
Okay.
right, next.
Okay, face
Yes.
tattoo. Let's move
I
it
think
on
I
over.
turned my comments off, so I don't.
What was your name?
How do I?
David. Gotten the muscles. Bringing the muscles.
Is anybody here? Is anybody here an IT specialist at Zeus? Oh, hi.
What can you? Are you?
I thought you were out of town. Were
So
you
I'm
not?
gonna have to
Can you go
scoot
talk? Okay,
this
sorry.
too.
We're interrupting. But does anybody know how to turn the chat thing on so I can get questions from people?
Is it that message thing right there?
No, because that just shows. I guess nobody is asking questions then. Maybe I haven't turned. Anyway, we have lots of questions for our listeners. Hi, what's your name?
David.
Are you okay with touching? Because
Your neck says John. Okay, all right.
Oh, that's so
No, I'm
nice.
lying. That's not my
Do you ever get that? People are like, oh, hey, John.
No, not really.
Okay.
I would think that would happen all the time because I have this Marni necklace.
Oh,
People
yeah.
always go, "Hey, Marni," and I'm like,
Most people don't call me Costanza.
I would hope.
Seinfeld.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want them to. He's my hero.
"So were you listening to the first half of what we were talking about?"
No, I was in a meeting.
You were not. Oh, okay. Well, the last half of what we were talking
You were
about.
Yeah,
sitting
I
right
was
there,
there.
right
I
over
was
there,
there.
not listening because
No.
you were boring the heck out of me.
No, the last half I was listening. The
You're
first
like-
half I was
Okay, yes, I should have phrased it that way. So anyway, I meant the first portion.
Gotcha.
But so what do you think about what we've been saying? Like how does a
Are we full
guy,
of crap?
yeah, as women?
Are we crazy?
No.
Because I feel like you're good with ladies.
I want more commitment in the no.
With your glasses, your muscles, you're fine.
No.
Yeah.
I think for the most part you guys are on track, and it is about. I think for me,
I'm gonna have to hold this. Like right there, hold it. Yeah, perfect. That far away from your mouth.
all right.
Yeah.
I think the most part, the best part is just communication. I think there's open communication throughout a first date. Like it's pretty easy to kind of get a pulse on how one another is feeling. Like,
Well, explain that.
Also on his
because
dead
for some
body.
people,
Like, oh, she's dead. She's
Yeah.
not with us anymore.
let me rethink this.
Got the pulse.
but for some people, it's actually difficult for them
Mhm.
to figure out. So how are you able to see that it's going well and that she's
I mean-
vibing you, not just like wanting to be your best friend?
I'm pretty straightforward. So, usually like around the midway area of the day, I jokingly would say, well, how do you think this is going?
Oh, you check in?
Yeah. I would
Oh
totally
shit! I
check
would
in.
hate to be on a date with you.
I would totally check in, but
Ah.
I'm very much like a jokester. Like, I don't take myself too seriously at all. So when it does come up in conversation, I don't feel like it's jarring or anything like that. It's usually within the flow of whatever conversation
Right.
we're having. And at that point, we usually have a good pulse on like, what the energy is.
Will you ask that question even if it's still not going well and you know it?
Oh well, if
Kind of call out the elephant.
yeah, no, I won't do that.
Okay,
I'll usually.
If you like,
Again, I'm pretty-
For
if
me,
you like
this
her,
is not
you'll
going
ask.
well.
Yeah,
Yeah, so-
that'd be pretty ballsy.
Can you imagine if a guy said that? Because I gotta go.
I love that honesty.
I mean,
Yeah,
I
I
would
really
really
do.
But then
I
the
wish
girl's
it
like, I like you even more now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty straightforward. So if it feels like, it's kind of like a dry conversation, then you kind of have to figure out a way to wrap it up. But it's never like a rude way or anything like that. But
Have you ever read the situation wrong where you think you're having a great time with somebody and then she says afterwards, I don't really feel that chemistry with you?
oh, I'm sure. I'm almost 30 years old, so
What's up, Grandpa?
yeah, I know that's how I feel.
John.
Woke up this morning.
Grandpa John.
But no, it's happened that way, and it's also happened the reverse way, right? Where I
Right.
thought it didn't go as well as I thought it did, and then the next day it's like, oh, I had a great time.
Yeah,
Let's
she's
hang out next
chasing
week.
you.
So you never know, really. All you can do is kind of, put the antennas out there and see like how one another feels.
Yeah.
So what about the text message that I was reading about? Did you see or hear
No,
that
No,
text
we didn't hear
message?
that. Yeah.
Okay, so I want you to read it.
So this dude was trying to flirt with this girl.
With
and
this girl
She
who-
wasn't having it.
Yeah, he was in the friend
And then
zone.
he
he's
put his
he's
tail
always
between his
Can you
legs
see?
and ran.
I know.
You read it out
Can you
loud
read
again.
from there?
Because I think if anyone's
It's
joined
30.
us,
Do
they
you
have-
understand?
I know, right?
What does it say?
Can you read it out loud?
Yeah. Oh, okay.
You don't have to, Marni.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I think I'm just gonna be a lion, like Wizard of Oz lion. LOL. I guess I was just thinking like zoo lion. LOL. Well, then if I dress up as a zookeeper, do I get to take you back home? LOL. Really?
Like she wrote, like, no, it was like, LOL, really?
Yeah.
Don't-
mhm,
don't
just
say
like
that to
the,
me.
Yeah,
mhm.
with the emoji.
Yeah. Like, ugh.
Haha, that was bad. I know. Oof. Anyway, anything new with
This is
work?
why dating
How
is,
have you been
is
enjoying
actual
it?
hell. Is actual hell.
I mean, like,
You
Satan has
listening to me?
constructed that.
Right.
Well, that was pretty bad too. But this is why dating is so hard, because he's trying so hard. She's not being receptive. It's just like, can we just be put out of our misery? This is really hard.
I mean, and this is gonna make me sound like another
We're
thing
both
that's
older than you, so you're fine. Yeah.
Speak for yourself.
I felt you
internally
felt
though. I mean, a lot of this stuff happens over like text messaging now, right? And context is completely lost.
Yep.
over
Yes,
text messaging.
100%.
So I mean, even back when I was dating, like maybe the first few messages would be online, and eventually, somehow, some way, kind of have to move into like the actual phone conversation. Where yes, some type of
Because they
context.
charge you per text.
That and you also you can get
Seriously.
tone. I mean, you can get tone of where the conversation is going.
Yeah.
You can get context clues, all that type of stuff, and kind of figure out early if there's any like worth in it moving forward.
Well, are you still able to get girls on the phone now? I feel like it's moving
Oh, I'm
towards
engaged
nobody.
now, so I
Oh,
can't.
you
Oh,
are?
good
Gotcha.
job.
Good job.
Yeah.
You did it. You escaped.
Congratulations.
Got some,
You made it
But
out of hell.
what do you think about their exchange there? Like okay, you can comment on the entire thing, but I want to
Mhm.
hear what your thoughts are on, like, if you were to be advising him, what would you say?
I mean, in the initial message, like just personally, my initial conversation is not going to try to like get you into my house, right? Like, if that
Just
was
my dungeon. You don't have to go to
not
the
my
house,
dungeon
the
just yet. I
It's
mean, we
kind of
got to have a
cool.
couple dates before it.
Okay.
Before you see his dungeon?
Come on now, it took a lot of work. But no, like that would never be like part of my initial conversation. Like my initial conversation is trying to get to know somebody to begin.
Oh yeah,
planting
this
the
wasn't
seeds.
their initial conversation.
Oh, was it?
No,
Oh.
no, no. So they've had multiple conversations before.
They're actually, I guess, apparently they're friends, and he's trying to like get out of the friend zone.
Oh.
So he's crowbarring in desperately.
he took a long jump and dive.
He
there.
did, yeah, crashed hard.
No, I think there's other ways to do it.
So what would be a good way? So I was saying earlier, if he said to me, if I was just talking to some dude friend that I had no feelings for and I have no idea he has feelings for me, and all of a sudden he says, can I dress up as a keeper and lion keeper or zookeeper and take you
Yeah.
home? I would be so thrown off and weirded out. But if he said something like, hey, me and you should grab a drink sometime, the tone would be changed. And I'd go, oh, okay, he's into me.
Mhm.
Okay, so then the foundation would maybe be set to get eventually to that kind of line.
Okay.
I still don't know if I've
Even
ever
that
found it
line
good,
is still
but
like,
yeah,
yeah,
the line's
yeah.
like, well,
I don't think
married
it's a great
couple would be
line.
like,
Mhm.
yeah, don't
Yeah,
say
it's not
that.
a great line, but I was commenting on the fact that if you're going completely bland and polite and asexual
But yes,
in your
you don't want to
conversation,
take
And then
that
you
route.
just
You
switch it.
you have to start flirting more. You just switch it up a little bit.
You do
I'm
have to
saying
start
execute
flirting
it
for
better.
it, but I'm saying that's too harsh of a jump. Like it has to be a smoother
Yes,
transition.
maybe. I agree
Yeah.
with you to switch to that much. Exactly. It escalated a little bit too high.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
but the fact that he did it and then backed down is what I didn't like, because that made him look even worse. Because he's like, okay, I'm going here, and then no, I'm not going.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't give himself anywhere to go.
Yeah,
Whereas
he
with,
didn't, yeah.
with your approach, at least it can kind of begin to go from there, right? So you can probably respond with like, probably better than this, but why are you even asking me out, right? Something more eloquent than that. But
Yeah.
then that can lead the conversation to where he's trying to
Right. Yeah, that was kind of a close-ended thing in a way.
go.
For sure. Okay, so my advice for getting out of the friend zone are there's two things that you can do. One is doing something that is changing up your behavior so that you stop acting so friendly and polite, and you do start flirting. You put your intent out there. Maybe not as extreme as that text, but you can be much more flirtatious. You can touch a little bit more. You can not be so available. You're not there at 11 o'clock at night to go like watch Golden Girls with her, whatever it is, or start talking about other girls. You switch up your behavior, or you open your mouth and you start talking to her, similar to what you just said, and you're like, you know what, this is dumb already. I'm into you. Let's go out on a date. Let's go grab a drink. But again, I still feel like whichever you do, you have to commit to it.
Yeah.
When she's thrown off by the change in your behavior, you can't be like, this didn't work. Okay, I have to change back.
Abort.
Yeah, exactly. Abort. Right.
Or
The same.
to super friendly.
Yeah, and then just be like,
All of a sudden he puts like,
tell me about
he
your
puts
latest
his
boyfriend.
nerd cape back on, and he's
Yeah,
like,
and he's like, oh, sorry.
I'm back.
Yeah, and same thing with when you put your intentions out there verbally. If she says, well, I've always seen you as a friend, you can't just back down and go, okay, well, I'm okay with friendship. Like, or it's not like you're.
Yeah.
I don't even use this term, but butthurt. Like that's how that's how that seemed to me. Because that he was crushed immediately is like he was spanked on the hand, and he stopped immediately and changed the direction of where he was
But
going.
Marni and I were talking actually on the flight here today that I do the same thing with networking. Because I'm afraid to network. I don't know how to network. I don't want to be annoying. And I put if I put something out there and they're like, not giving me exactly what I want, I immediately retract and then never bring it up again. And I continue to maintain this like mediocre level of a career because I'm like afraid to take to the next level.
Yeah, it's exactly the same thing.
Yeah, because I can never commit. So it is the same thing.
And so we had somebody on our show, I think it will air before this episode. Well, not for you right now, but this episode that we had about conversations and telling stories. And I totally lost my track of my thought, but we were talking about
That's why it was a dumb thought anyway.
well, I think it was tied to, committing to your story, that and reading your audience. And so if you have a shy person that's in front of you and they suddenly are, give you a shy read and you're really boisterous, like, so for example, if you were to interact with people that you were networking with and they were like, oh, okay, they're kind of funny, then what the expert was suggesting that we do is to deflect from one-on-one conversation and then turn the conversation towards people that are out there. So like, if you're not getting a good response from somebody when you are being yourself one-on-one, it could be for multiple reasons, like them being shy or them, whatever it is.
Which actually makes me want to ask you. So we were talking to someone on our show and we had said, what do you do when a girl is shy and you're trying to make her more comfortable? What would you do if you're on a date with a shy girl?
Well, again, like I'm more of the laid back. I don't take myself too seriously. So the date that I usually like to set up as the first one is something that puts us both in, not uncomfortable is too strong a word, but in a situation where you kind of have to
loosen
relax
up,
and loosen up.
Bungee jumping?
Not that loose.
It's like,
because that's what they do on The Bachelor, and I think it's very smart.
Well, maybe,
but it's like the potential of dying on a date. It's like dating is scary
That's
enough
like the
as it
worst
is.
first
Like,
date
do I
ever.
also have to
I
die?
know. But it's something like on a dumbed down scale,
but
obviously.
yeah.
Well, you're doing something. That's
I
why
don't-
going for hikes.
and I
don't-
continue.
Sorry.
No, like a good one out here that I've done before is like Urban Pet up the street. So
That's cute.
It's just
Oh, that's cute. Miniature golfing?
it's like a miniature golf thing, but it's built. It was like crowdfunded, and it's like all this cool architecture inside.
Oh,
So there's a lot of conversation pieces, and there's food upstairs. So there's a lot of stuff you can do to kind of loosen up and have a good time. And
Yeah.
joke. Positions just standard. I like to go in because everybody's somewhat nervous on the first date, right?
And that's something you're saying that helps with people who are shy.
Yeah, and I think it helps both.
So doing something physical,
Mhm.
kind of.
Yeah, because sitting, even at a bar having drinks, even if you have a cocktail in your hand, like before that cocktail goes down and hits you, it's still like really
Yeah.
uncomfortable.
Mhm.
What are some other suggestions of places that you can take dates that would be original, interesting?
Oh, I don't want to get
No. Or
Hey,
was
you're
that your
engaged.
standard?
You're
Was that your
engaged.
But you still
standard?
have
Stop
to-
being
but you
selfish.
still have to
Keep it
date though,
fresh.
right?
Or was that like your only place you went to? Let's
No,
go
no,
Papa.
I have a lot. So there's that. There's also in San Francisco. Well, it's closed now, but it was it's like this little
We'll walk up a
man-made.
hill.
It was like this little man-made island, right? And you could like eat underwater and stuff
Oh,
like that.
that's cool.
And so, again, like the experience that's created is like you meet at this pier, there's nothing there, right? And then all of a sudden, this little tugboat comes up. So it's like all these little conversation things that kind of happen.
Yeah,
as
yeah.
well.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's like the duck.
Will you go on a date with me?
What's that? No, what's that duck that they have here that goes above water and below water? I did this here when 6 years ago when I came to visit my friend
Submarine?
Jetty. Well, it went in the water. It's like a tour that you do. It goes on land.
Oh,
That
What is
one
it?
Oh, I have
By
yeah.
the ducks. It was a duck, I think.
I feel like I
Maybe
can't
not.
go on a duck on my first date. I'm sorry.
No, I'm not saying to go on a
I
date.
can't.
I'm just saying an experience where something goes into the water. This
Yeah.
is my own little journey that I'm concerned about right
She's
now. Not about
been
dating.
married for a long time, clearly.
Yeah, so I'm out of it. But so that's interesting. Okay, so going to places like that are cool, that are exactly our conversational pieces,
Yeah.
and not on the person. Like you don't have to
Exactly.
say, "What do you do for a living? Where do you
The
go?"
whole.
It's more of, "This is a cool experience. Do you
Mhm.
know how this came to be?"
There's another one that's really fun because this is actually one that I use for the woman I'm with now. Is this is a place out here called Cafe Claude, and when you go there, it's like this dark alleyway, right? So it looks super sketchy as you walk up, and so they kind of have to clinch onto you a little bit.
Yeah, it
and
makes
all
you
that.
look manly.
But when you get into there, it's this beautiful restaurant. There's live jazz being played, and it's
So
really
you are
nice.
into restaurants for dates.
Oh yeah. 'Cause
For first
I like to
dates?
eat, period.
Right.
So any excuse to get me to eat is still like a win for me.
Yeah, I have to go out anyway.
But yeah, it provides like all these opportunities to loosen up and kind of get comfortable with one another.
Interesting. Okay, I want to get to one question from our listeners. We have a segment that's called Overanalyze This. As you've seen, we like to overanalyze situations. And so we have.
It's actually called Over Annoy You Guys.
Yeah, oh, I forgot to
But
do my Wing Girl
overanalyze
Minute.
this.
Yeah, exactly.
We
I forgot to do my
get
Wing Girl Minute,
we
but we'll
get
do
really
it next time on our show. Okay,
You
so
can do it now.
I'll save it for next time because it was a specific topic. Okay, good day from Australia, Marni, Christian, and guest. First off, you have a great show on there. I'm a big fan, and your advice has helped me in so many ways. A huge thanks to Christian for being so open and honest about her breakup, as I was in a very similar situation, and it was amazing to hear her story and know that someone else was going through the same thing as myself. Now, to the reason for my email. A friend of mine introduced me to her sister, best friend, and we connected straight away. She lives 4 hours away, so our main communication is via text and phone calls. She's a really driven person that loves a challenge and loves working hard to get what she wants. So my question is, how do you be a challenge for her to conquer, yet still show that you're really into her? So kind of what we've been talking about. I don't want her to think I'm not interested in her, but also don't want to be so easy to get that she wouldn't value a relationship with me. She's a very busy woman with kids and sport and life in general. So I am usually the one to call or message, as I may not hear from her for a week or more when her life gets busy. I'm desperate to avoid the dreaded friend zone. Thanks for your help, Dale. So how do you play it cool without being too clingy and needy? How do you have...
It's hard to play it cool 4 hours away from someone.
Yeah, that's
You're
a
like
tough
playing
one.
it cool just in the distance.
Yeah.
And you're
Yeah, like,
playing
I'm on the way to your house. Do you want...
And you're playing it cool while like this person's saying that she doesn't reach out for sometimes like a week.
That's not a good sign.
That's not a good sign.
Single mother, different. I have learned, listen, I'm not a single mother, but as somebody who is a mother, I understand that it is not a top priority for you. Even if it is a top priority, other things come up and your days can get away with you fairly quickly. And when you're zonked at the end, you're not feeling sexy about yourself, the last thing you want to do is reach out to somebody.
See, I almost feel like I would reach out to somebody because I'd be
Right, you need
needing
that
the
energy.
ego rub, like
Yeah.
I'm not
Well,
just a,
yeah.
crazy mom. I'm sexy and whatever.
That is true. You probably need that at some point. And maybe if your kids are out of the house during that time, but let's say she does have her. So like Rena, my neighbor across the street, she hated when she is on Tinder or like a dating app and her kids are around. She feels like that's really inappropriate, or that she feels like if I'm not giving my kids attention because some guy's like sending me a
I think
dick
being
pic,
on
like
Tinder
that's
anytime is inappropriate.
right. But so I'm just saying,
forever.
I'm not saying that like him not hearing from her, as long as she's engaging and she agrees like to go out with him and is on board with all of those things and they're having good communication when he does contact her, I would say that's the good sign, not the fact that she doesn't reach out first. So I'm saying like I just feel like there is still sort of a wall. I'm not a single mom, but having numerous single moms on our show, that was the common theme that I noticed with a lot of them, that it wasn't like I didn't feel the need to reach out, but they just got overwhelmed a lot of the time. Anyway, but continue. I want to hear what you have to say. So Dale was talking about like her being a single mom. He doesn't want to be clingy and he doesn't want to be seen as needy, but he wants to show that he has intent. How does he do that?
Oh man, that's a tough one. I mean, like one thing I would think of maybe is to if and reach out and just kind of check in on her, like a very honest, like authentic, like thinking of you type of situation, right? Is there anything that you can do to kind of make her situation a little bit easier? Like, I don't mean like monetary, anything like that, gesture or something that you can do that one states like your intentions, and then kind of put you in a position like, hey, I'm interested in you and kind of want to see what's this going. But at the same time, once you put it out there, it kind of for a bit, you know, and kind of see where that goes. But that would be one of my thoughts, because that's an interesting one.
No, that was a good thought.
I think if you're 4 hours away from each other, I think having something like a shared inside joke to occasionally text about is good. For example, like a guy I know, we're not like that, but we send each other pictures of people sleeping. So whenever we
is that why you took that picture?
So whenever we see someone sleeping, we like take a picture and send it. So that could be once a week. If you're in a city like San Francisco, you know, you're walking and there's, you know, homeless people sleep, you know, like not that we pick on homeless people.
It's a homeless person gallery. Is what you're saying.
Choosing here.
We saw somebody at the airport sleeping today.
But I mean, he was like
old man,
full, which is kind of normal. But it's a funny, like it's a shared little thing that you can check in. Just sit there and text all day. It's like a little thinking of you with this funny little underlying joke going. And it doesn't have to obviously be that, but if you find something together,
I think that's cute.
Piggyback on that and like he can initiate that, like, you know, and then she realizes it's a thing and they send it, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I think because I remember maybe like probably like a year ago when I was really like freelancing and also like designing 9 to 5, like I would almost never respond to texts and all that type of stuff. So I was really almost like unavailable socially. But one thing that would like keep me interested is actually like similar to what you were just talking about, where article that we have in common or something that we like to read together, some like little things like that make me think, oh, they really kind of get me. They really
and they're thinking of you.
Exactly.
Without having to be annoying.
Mm-hmm.
Like, hi, what are you doing? How are you this week? How's your week going?
How often are people allowed to do that without that other person sending them something back? Like how many times in a row can you send a picture or an article to somebody and then like without them saying, oh, here's another gesture back?
And maybe twice.
Yeah, I wouldn't go too overboard with it, right?
Okay, so 2 times.
Like you don't want to scroll back through your texts and just see all you.
Right.
And then a year from now go, oh my God, shut up. What was I thinking?
Yeah.
You know, stop talking.
But I like the point that you made about like then stepping it up and taking it to the next level.
Yeah.
So like when you were saying that, I was thinking I'm going to be in town in 2 weeks. So giving enough notice for a heads up to a woman with
But
kids.
why is he coming to town? Is it just to see her? Or is it like I
want to see you and hang out. Like it's really just like it's about being honest. Which I
like I want to see you.
Yeah, I want to see you.
Very much I am. I'm really like to the point. I don't like to waste anyone's time. I don't want to waste my time. So I'll let you know like immediately this is what I'm interested in. Right.
And if somebody it gives less space for wiggle room for somebody to lead you down a path of saying, yeah, I'm interested. And then, 2 hours before when you're halfway to where they live, saying, oh, something came up, I'm not able to go. Mm-hmm. When you're more clear and direct and straightforward, I feel like people are almost the same way back. So I think like even if you were to offer saying like, listen, I'll take care of a babysitter, I want to take you out. Mm-hmm. Like I'm going to take you for dinner or, go putt-putting, whatever you want to go to an escape room. I don't know. But I like being more clear with your intentions, especially when you have the 4-hour distance.
Yeah, and it just saves confusion and stress in the long run.
Yeah.
At the very least.
Well, thank you for doing this. What's your role here at Zeus?
I'm one of the senior designers here. So we make Zeus what it is.
Yeah. So the functionality designer or like the graphic
part? A lot of the graphic parts of it, help out with marketing and those types of things.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay, that's a big responsibility.
It's fun.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome. Well, thank you for doing this. And I think that we are done with our show.
Well, I don't know
as
how
well.
long this is
Oh,
going, but
yeah.
do you want us
So-
to keep going?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you want us to tap dance a little bit longer? So we are going to wrap up. So thank you to everybody that tuned in and watched. Sorry, this was so last minute that I was announcing that this was going to be on live, but it's going to live on YouTube forever as something
Ooh.
recorded. I know. You look cute, don't worry. But again, we are live from Zeus headquarters, one of the leading online dating sites in the world. And if you...
It's not real. Love isn't real. Stop trying. Sorry.
I am going to have a link below this video that if you click on it, I don't know, do they get something special for being with me or no? Nope, nothing special, but you get to find out more about Zeus.
You may find someone special.
Yeah, look at the love we found just being here today. You can find this too. We will see you guys soon. I'm going to give my usual send-off for the show. New episodes of the Ask Women podcast go out every Thursday at 5 p.m. Pacific. And you guys are wonderful and amazing and awesome. We'll see you next week.